All right, looks like we are recording. We are all set. And today will be, I think, it's either 3 or 4 or 5. We're getting along here on our Traders Talks. I know I've just been getting huge feedback from you guys. Definitely appreciate doing this, so we're going to keep on continue doing it. Every week we kind of try to figure out, try to make things a little bit smoother for everyone, and we're going to continue, to keep doing that. I know I shut out my email address. I'm just going to do it one more time for anyone that does not have it. If there's anything in specific that you guys do want to talk about, I know a few of you wanted to kind of look at Tradestation a little bit today, just for any of you that are looking to open up brokers. Since we're not really using much, I'm just going to throw this up there so you guys can kind of take a look at the what it's going to look like. Anyone that is interested. Yeah, anyone that is interested in that, which we're going to have our deal finalized pretty soon, and then I'll be going over, we'll be going over everything. Basically, essentially, what what's going to happen is the ticket charge is going to be reduced to pay for any admission towards any classes for any of our students, which is kind of cool. Please just don't pay attention to any. I have a trade in right now. Don't pay attention to it. It's on. You guys can see down here. It's on sim. I'm just playing around, trying to get used to it. So obviously, I wouldn't follow me because I'm not really really trading as I normally would be. All right, so we are, like I said, we're going to get started. We're going to start a little bit late, so we will run a little bit over. We're going to run until about almost pretty close to Fausto's meeting. So yeah, so just to start off, this is the Tradestation Platform. This is what it kind of looks like. Fausto's actually going to have them set it up for us, so we have a file for anyone that it's going to look just like Fausto's. I've kind of just made my own attempt at it so far. Is Tradestation something? Let me just pull this out a little bit more. Yes, well, we are going to be pretty much recommending it, because of the fact that they're literally going to be paying for your classes. As a student, they're going to discount your ticket charges up to the amount that you paid for your class, which is pretty cool. So we will be. This is what we're going to be showing on the chat room, as well as we're probably. Fausto's going to be using it for his webinars, and we will more than likely be switching over. I know me personally, I will still be using the stock class, Cat. I'm sure there's going to be deals, with options. I don't know all the finalizations. I know definitely the stock class. So we're going to be going into that. I know I'm going to still be using the book viewer. I don't know if any of you, do use this, but the matrix thing, it is cool. I'm sure the information's awesome, but I can't read it. I have no idea what is going on here. So you'll still more than likely be seeing. Yep, it's going to be for existing students as well as new existing Tradestation customers as well as new customers. But like I said, I don't have all the details yet, but we will have those out to everybody pretty shortly. But you more than likely will still see the book viewer, just because, like I said, I have no idea what is going on here. This is supposedly, I think, a level 3, but I can't really tell. So we, like I said, we'll get everything. Will be on our website. We're going to get that out to everybody as soon as possible, and then we're going to take everything from there. So I know the first thing that I had, one of the emails that I had, well, besides the Tradestations one, I'm going to struggle with view trade, but this is too hard for me to read with it like this, so I'm just going to read out the questions. Tracy said, my broadband struggles with view trade, but not with Thinkorswim. I think Tradestation will act like Thinkorswim. More than likely, Tracy. That's very, very possible. But like I said, the only email that I had besides specifically for the Tradestation happened to do with entry point. So I'm going to want to spend a little bit of time with that, with the entry points. Okay, now one of the big things I know that I look for with any type of entry is on a long side is going to be a strong support. Now keep in mind, I'm going to try to use this. I might switch back over to view trade because I still haven't really got this all down. But when we're looking in there, like for instance, right now with Lake, right now at 1125, you have 4,400 shares and 2,500 shares, and then 1129, you have 16,000. Does anybody think that right now would be a good entry to get into this? Marcus says no. I know me and Marcus worked together this morning, so that you better say no. Doug, no. Now, why is that? Why don't you think it would be a good entry to get into right now? I mean, it kind of looks like the stock's moving up on the graph. Time and sales is pretty green when you look at it. Why wouldn't this be a good entry? Marcus says small range. Absolutely. That is a great answer. Right now it's 11.26. Really, you had 2 cents. Now, keep in mind, that doesn't mean that the stock can't go up. We've seen stocks break huge, resistance points before. But when you bring in the probabilities of it actually happening, it's horrible. You have a huge resistance that's sitting right there. So, people will get in and wonder, why did the stock go back down? It was an uptrend, it looked real nice, it looked strong. Well, look at this order right here at 1,600. Okay, in order for this order, someone has to buy 16,100 shares from this guy right here at 11.29 just to make it move a cent. Okay, so that's not obviously where you're going to want to, when you want to get in. Now, looking at the book viewer, which that's 90% of the time, I'm looking not only at the actual stock itself, but I'm looking at the book viewer to kind of confirm whatever my supports and my resistances are. Somebody tell me, what do you think a good entry point on the stock would be? Yes, I absolutely can. We have 1090 from Doug. I don't disagree with that, Doug, but based off what you see right here, I'm going to say that's not going to be your best entry. Doug, I don't disagree with you whatsoever on the 1090 coming back down on a pullback, but yes, exactly, at 11. Now, why is 11 going to be a pretty decent entry point? Let me just silence this. Okay, Brad, I love your answer right there, whole number. Everyone, keep in mind, if you look at all the numbers on the side of your chart, for instance, this one looks like it's trading in 20 cents right now. Okay, all those numbers, they will always equal a whole number. You're always going to see whole numbers. I love whole numbers. I love to watch them. I mean, it's adding to my actual my percentages on a trade. Well, Frank, 20 cents for me is a long, long, long way for a loser. I want to get in someplace before there's an actual, before there's a support level. I don't want to take a guess. Okay, now, so who thinks it would be a good order to put in at 11.01 right now? Because I know a lot of you do this. Most of you that I speak to right now, you're going to say, okay, I have, a huge resistance at 11, so let me put in an order at 11.1. Justin says yes. Grant says yes. So I'm talking about putting a limit order right now. You put it at 11.01. Tracy says yes. Grant says yes. Keith, no, wait till it gets closer. Okay. Pritesh says I wait for a bounce, which we're definitely getting closer. Either so. Let's anyone agree that we could put a limit order in above 11, and that's going to be a good trade for us. Okay, most of you are saying yes, which I mean, right there, is going to show you guys this is definitely going to be a productive lesson. I say that's a terrible, terrible order to have in. Has anyone ever heard the term "catch a falling knife" before? What happens if you try to catch a knife that's literally falling? Exactly. Now, Pritesh was you get killed. Pritesh had the closest answer whatsoever. We never want to try to pinpoint where a low is, because I'll tell you, I know I've personally tried to do it, and it's not going to work most of the time. You're going to end up getting hurt. So we have an order. Let's say we put an order in 11.01, so that 11.01 gets executed. What happens when this big block order, the 2,000 shares at 11, gets pulled? What's going to happen to our order now? We literally don't have another floor until 1075. So when a lot of you say, it's hard to, cut your losses at a small range, yes, it is. Only if, because if this order is pulled, we're going all the way down. We have nothing that's holding our support level up. So when I said I like your answer at 1090, I do, okay? Because I want it to break that support level, and I want to buy it coming back on the way up past that. So 1101 is not a bad entry point for the stock, but not while the stock is coming down. Does everyone understand what I mean right there? Exactly. Whenever you go long, you're buying on the way up, and when you go short, you buy on the way down. Don't try to pinpoint these entries, because yeah, the order's now, but how many times do we see somebody pull a big block order? I mean, I see it constantly all day long, especially when it's a big one. You see it literally just get pulled. So why are you going to take that risk of hoping that the stock? Now, also with excuse me, Keith, when you said wait till it gets closer, I absolutely agree with you as well. Right now at 11:16, I'm not looking at 11. Well, I mean, I am. I'm going to, keep my eyes on 11 for an entry, but it's not a smart play. You're literally trying to catch a falling knife, and you're going to get hurt many, many times. So when we're talking about entries on a major support level, okay, a lot of you think just because it's above, it's coming to support, that's a good entry. It's really not. Okay, and that's kind of the lesson that I want to give today based off of entry points, but you got to make sure that you're not trying to catch that falling knife and you're buying these on the way up. Or if you're going to short it, you want to buy it on the way down. Because if there's a major resistance level, what happens once it breaks it? What does that become? Exactly, now that becomes your major support. Now, does everyone think it's a good idea to buy on a major support level? Well, Brad, I'd hope so. But you want to buy up on the way up from the major support level. It depends, Grant. Depends how fast the stock's moving and stuff. I usually go like 2 cents, depending on how many shares I'm trading to. Sometimes I can't even get 2 cents. Okay, but if I know how, the level that the stock's actually trading within, then, if I lose 3-4 cents, but it's on a stock that's trading 25 cents, I'll take that all day and keep my probabilities. Now, I can almost guarantee you, because I know of a lot of you that I've spoken to, that you're doing this exact thing, is that you're trying to pinpoint where the bottom is, and then once it hits that bottom, and then you see that order get pulled and it falls down, and you wonder, well, I was buying at support, but in all reality, you weren't because the order was pulled. So what if Lori's question, which is a great question, so what if it doesn't get there and it starts going up? Do you buy then? No, you look for the new support, the new resistance to buy above. It's all about trading ranges. So right now, we have at 1124, we have our new resistance level, okay? So we also have a resistance level at 1129. Now, do you want to buy for 2 cents above the new, because if it breaks 1124, okay, that's a new support, but then we have a resistance 2 cents away. So that's not a good entry. You want a range within where the order is going to be going. So as I said, when we're buying on the way up, you don't want to just try to take guesses in between those levels. You always want to buy through, a major support. It becomes a major support when a major resistance is broken. You understand what I mean, Lori? Well, here, let's do it one more time. So this stock's at 1120 right now. Okay, we have support at 1115, which we're not going to buy on the way down. Okay, so if this stock is going up, we have resistance at 1124. Right now, this is no good entry right now. If you make an entry right here, you're probably going to get shaken out, have to sell. There's no way, because 1124 and then 1116, there's nowhere to go. But now, above, if it breaks through this 1129, so at 1130, you have a range. The next big block order is all the way at 1150. So now we have a 20-cent range to make. Once it breaks this 16,000, now we have a major support, and we have a range of about 20 cents. Okay, the biggest thing too that you can do is that after, like the thing about TradeStation, which is really cool that I kind of figured this out. I hate it while I'm trading. If you see right here on, see where it says market, 500 market, and this right here, it literally shows me where I made my trades. Now I need to figure out how to take this off because I absolutely hate it while I'm trading. It kind of gets in my way. But after the day, if you put it back on, you can print out your graph and you have exactly where your trades are. You can actually analyze it just like that. So you could see exactly what you're doing. Always, whenever a stock breaks a major resistance level, that major resistance becomes a floor. If you break through a ceiling, and then now you're standing on the ceiling, your ceiling is now your support. ARWR. ARWR looks like it has a lot of support. That's why it's going sideways and pretty much doing nothing. Your range is about not even 4 cents. What about the spread on a stock moving? The spread gets larger. If you get the right entry point, it shouldn't matter, Keith. Support, no, I look for my support levels, I look for on the bid side until they get executed. No, Rosa, because just because a stock goes a couple of cents over a resistance level doesn't mean it's going to hold. It needs to hold that support before it becomes a support. If you jump up and your head hits through the ceiling, your body's still coming back down. You didn't make it through the support the resistance level. Only your head did. You didn't make it all the way. I want the stock to it sounds like a stupid example. I want the stock to be standing on that support level. Andy says, it seems like a lot of the times the stock will break a big resistance and then pull back. Have you seen that? And is there a reason you wait for it to move 2 or 3 cents above the new support? Well, a lot of times if it breaks that support and it pulls back, on that pullback is usually a good entry point. But then there's a lot of indicate. That's a that's a few hour lesson in itself. For instance, if a stock breaks, like for here, if a stock were to break 7 just a little bit and then pull back, a lot of times based off the orders on that pullback, we're going to have a great, it's going to hit that support level on the pullback, and the momentum is going to push it straight back up through where that resistance was. But like I said, that's something that you guys can go over with Fausto. That is an entire lesson in itself. This is more for just kind of advanced. But does everyone see what I mean? I hope this definitely helps with everybody, because this is a huge it's a huge thing I've just noticed that a lot of you are doing wrong. Just because the support's there doesn't mean it's going to be there when the stock gets down to it. As the stock price makes a big move, that means that those in at profit will want to sell off, hence a pullback. Yep, exactly, Pratesh. That's exactly what's happening. I'm sure Brett's listening. You guys ever see Brett sell and a stock crashes? I'm just kidding with you. But that's exactly what it is. Once you get, especially think about it. If you're up 50 cents in a stock just ran 50 cents from, let's say, in this stock, 6 to 650. What do you want to do with it? You want to lock in that profit, right? You don't want to just let it keep falling back down or run back up. People want to go. So when a stock runs up, it's so matter when those day traders are going to want to lock in their profits, and then that's when you see those pullbacks. But it doesn't mean that the stock isn't meant to be where it ran up to. It just means that people are selling. It's going to run the stock down. You got to look at time and sales, see how much volume is being pumped in. See, Tracy, see how the stock still hasn't moved. The range is horrible. Let's see what my Lake trade is doing. I didn't even look when I put this in, by the way. I was just trying to do a different type of order. All right, so that is pretty much the only email that I did receive. Does anyone have anything else that they would like to go over? We're going to dedicate an hour to this, but if you guys don't have questions, that's fine. There isn't always a trade to be made, something I had to learn. No, absolutely. Sometimes the best trade is no trade. Is the execution on Tradestation quick? From what I see so far, yes. On the previous stock, you went to short, but you stayed in after the bounce. Why? You mean on Lake? I never went to short it. I'm saying that a good entry is at 11, but if not on until on the way up from 11. Mike, it's going to be, I'm having it recorded. I don't know the IT side of it. I literally have nothing to do with that. So you're going to have to ask, I'll figure it out for you guys on somewhere on this, but it's recording at the moment. So we definitely will have this recording. What's your cut loss? 5, no other screen, AWRK. Hold on. I'm not sure. Hold on. Dwayne, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Dwayne said, on the previous stock, you went short. I didn't go short on any stock. Daily chart showing wrong dollar amount. Is it? Oh, daily, yes it is. That's probably something I did, to be honest with you. I'm still trying to figure out these things. I might not even have it on the right daily chart. Don't pay. That's the one thing. Try not to pay attention to this because I don't know what I'm doing yet on it. So I have a daily 2 years back, but yeah, I have no idea. I'm gonna have to look at that. Try not to pay attention to my chart. I'm gonna put the regular charts back up. To be completely honest, I don't even know what this is. I must have it in some something wrong. ARWR? No, I said ARWR I wouldn't trade. I think it's a horrible stock. There's no range. Oh yeah, no, I did go short on ARWR. Okay, so let me see. Just David said no on the other screen. Let me go back. Your previous second went short, but you stayed after bounce. Oh, Dwayne, I told you these things. I'm not even. I'm just practicing. I'm not trading with this. I see what you're saying right here. On when I stayed in on the bounce, I'm just practicing with this. I'm not like none of these trades are actually trades. Just like that Lake trade, I don't even know what price I got it in. I'm just practicing with the execution system and just kind of playing around with it. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I should have sold right before it did bounce. But like I said, I'm not even. That's why I'm not even in a trade for this long. I probably would have sold right here. Okay, let's go. Use stock had to be okay. Dwayne is talking about. Is there a way to set up thinkorswim to get a similar layout? John, you're going to have to call up thinkorswim. I don't use them, so I'm not sure. On exits, do you set a 20% goal and get out, look for new entry? Tracy, it depends on the trade. 20 cents is my minimum goal. I don't really like to take a trade for less than 20 cents, unless I could trade a ton of shares of it. Like there was Radio Shack. There was a few times my goal was literally 5, 10 cents. But 20 is usually, if I'm going to get into a real trade, 20 is usually my minimum. What's most helpful to talk about entries? What's most helpful is for you to talk about entries and exit. Okay. When there are larger orders at many prices on both sides, how do you best read? Dana, it's harder. Like let's pull up, what was it, GTAT? It's a lot harder. You just have to kind of differentiate. Like you have to kind of go by what the orders are. Like here, 13,000 looks to be a lot at 137, and then on this side, none of the 12,000 and then 140 looks to be a lot. So you just kind of have to put it into perspective of what the rest of the orders looks like. But someone to read book viewer that's just starting off with this big a volume. That's why Fausto tells you in the beginning, don't trade any stock over 25 million shares. This is trading almost 136 million at the moment. So what yes, exactly. Okay. How do you exit on a stock that is a new? Grant, I'm looking pretty much specifically at book viewer level 2 and time and sales. When I have, when it's in new territory, I'm looking for any type of order that's being placed out there. If there's no new large sellers, then I'm looking at volume and time and sales, and seeing what's being executed. Time and sales is going to pick where the direction of the stock goes. So time and sales is going to be where I'm first looking at. Usually, if you're in a stock that's in breaking new highs, it's a great problem to have. I mean, unless you're short, but if you're long. So I'm looking at volume. I'm looking at how many people are buying it and how many people are selling it, what the price, and I'm constantly looking to see if there's new orders being filed in. I don't like how I can't see this. There we go. Okay. What else? Any other questions that anyone has that come up? Let's see. Oh, Lake is just sitting there. Since we've talked, Lake has not done anything. Because remember, there was nowhere for it to go. That 16,000 share order is still just sitting there. Will Tradestation be available in Canada? Don't quote me on it. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it won't, but don't quote me on it. I'm not positive. Demo for game plan using book viewer. Demo for game plan using book viewer? I'm not sure I understand what that means, Kat. See, Ronald, I like to link them all together and have my order in one spot. I X'd out all of those just because it was so annoying for me. Gary. Like when to get in. Well, that's what I was talking about. That's that whole lesson that, if you want to go back to the recording, that entire lesson of what I just did of when to get in is based off the orders in the book viewer. If we didn't have that big black order sitting there at 11, which, did it disappear? Yeah, it's not even there anymore. But at 11, then I'm not even going to get in. Now, right now is a terrible entry because we have a cent range between 11.27 and 11.29. Okay, but if we hold over 11.30, 11.30 is looking like, if it can get enough volume to come in, 11.30 is looking like a good entry point. Keep in mind right now, spread is 5 cents. It's getting, things are thinning out. Okay, Gary, you also taught me that there's no pattern day trading rule in Canada as well. I literally don't trade in Canada, so Fausto knows mostly everything about Canada. I personally don't. Like I said, we're based out of the United States, so I do not have. Should I use Tradestation to have my order bar? Okay. Dana said the total of number of buyers and sellers in book viewer. I personally do not follow it in any. I personally don't find any relevance. Unless there's any difference, if someone else sees something, these orders, the orders that are at 10.12 and 11.99, they have no relevance to me whatsoever. I mean, unless I'm looking for a swing trade in a certain level for like 50 cents, $1, I might look at that. But there could be a million sellers and there could be a million limit order sellers and a million limit order buyers. But at the end of the day, it's who's executing their shares. I don't even look at that. It doesn't really mean anything to me. I like the layouts. Looks just like that. I like the layout. Looks just like that. But yeah, you can set up any of these platforms just the way, the exact way that you want them. I personally, I've been trading like that for so long now that I can't. When I first started trying to use this in the other layouts, it didn't make sense to me. I still would love to know why my minute chart is like that. I wonder if it's like that on everything. No, just that one. I don't know. Maybe because it's a SIM account? I'm not sure. Rich, on the website is this video. Rich, where on the website is this video? Keith, we're going to have to get back to that. I'm recording it, but I'm not sure where it's going to be. Dwayne, as soon as the entire deal's cut up for you guys, we don't care about Tradestation as much because Tradestation, they have everything you need. It's a great company, great execution. They have, we care more about along the lines of getting you guys the deal made for your discounts and everything. Can BookViewer be linked to the platform so when you change a chart, BookViewer changes symbol? Not that I know of. Not NASDAQ BookViewer. And then, like I said, this does have Matrix. Maybe someone will be able to teach me how to use it. I don't know. But I can't read this. I don't know what it is. I see at 610 we have 5,000. Let's pull up ARWR over here. I guess at 607. Yeah, I can't read this, so I don't know. I have no idea what this stuff means. And there's arrows and, oh, no, I don't want to do that. Yeah, so unless I learn how to use this, I don't know. Some platforms have it, like I think Lightspeed might have it. I know not fully. There are some platforms that do have it integrated to it, but I know that that BookViewer can't. And Gary just said you can link to the platform, so when you chart BookViewer change, best you can do is BookViewer is export static data to Excel. Yeah, so there. I'm not sure what that. Yes, Jim, this is direct access broker. Everything goes straight to the floor. It's actually, I mean, it's just all the platforms. I know I said this to you guys all the time, but all the platforms are exactly the same. It's just as long as they have the right tools and it's a preference of using it. I'll show you when we speak this afternoon. TradeStation will link to this. TradeStation can link to the NASDAQ BookViewer? I've played with Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim is one of the best platforms ever. It's very geared towards options trading. And I know a lot of our students that love TradeStation. They would never even think of trading. They love day trading with it, and they do phenomenally well. It's really just who, like I said, it's just a preference of what you like. Yeah, Grant, tell me about it. And I consider myself, pretty computer illiterate, and I've been messing around. I can't tell you how many times I slammed my mouse down yesterday because I couldn't figure something out on this thing. Mr. Fausto is changing his screen. Yes, more than I think that from now on that Fausto, we're going to be using TradeStation. They're going to be sponsoring classes for you guys. Oh, to their BookViewer. Now, but Paul, is their BookViewer is the Matrix, right? Because they're unless their BookViewer is something else I don't know about, but the Matrix, it's got me running around in circles. I can't even think. All right, but I'm definitely looking forward to that. Mischief changing. How do you hold your position to gain more profit? You hold if you find a gap in between. You know what the levels the stock is trading. You let the stock trade within those levels, and when it comes up to a level, really all you got to do is watch time and sales and see if the level gets executed. If a sell order gets executed, the stock goes up. If a buy order gets executed, the stock's going to go down. It's actually not as hard as we try to make it. Fausto's going to be doing a workshop, he's going to be doing a pre-market workshop really, really soon. But he's going to be doing also another time and sales workshop where he's going to go a lot further into depth into there. What is TradeStation's normal rate? So when you get past into the intro special, what are you likely to? Dana, that's something that you're gonna have to. I'm not a broker. I don't deal with any. I'm here to teach you guys. If you guys have broker questions, please give a call in, and they'll be happy to help you. But I can tell you, they probably won't know. They probably won't have any idea what it is yet because, like I said, it's not finalized. Yes, the aggregation is a really important part of the BookViewer. So, mm, 40 new resistance. I wasn't looking. While this could have happened, it looks like 20 was probably a new entry point that came in. That order probably got pulled. But even if you know, let's say just out of, out of argument's sake, you got in at 130, you just made 10 cents. I told you, you still have that distance. Now, as long as this breaks right, if this order at 130 stays there, and we can hold that, you're still going to have 150. There's only 1,000 share orders at 1142. Right now, we have another 2,000 coming in at 33. Stock's actually looking pretty strong. Like, just for yes, can you show another example? Yeah. Someone pick a stock. Someone's got to give me a stock that's moving. I'm not looking at the book. I'm not, I haven't looked at the market since we guys started. GTAT, I can almost guarantee you is doing nothing. That stock it's been, I just want to see, does everyone see why 131 was a good entry point now on this stock, buying up on the way up? Okay, I'm going to go there in a second, but I want you to look right now at this stock. Does everyone understand why that this was a good, it was a good entry point at 1131? Did anyone take that entry point at 1131? No, Laura, you wouldn't. You shouldn't have missed it. It broke that resistance. Okay, we had that gap. We had a 20-cent gap. Literally, the book viewer told us that we had 20 cents above 131. There was a better entry in there, but it had a few things had to happen. But every single one of you could have just had that. We literally just, when you guys go back to the recording, I want you to look at this because it couldn't have. The book viewer told us that at 1131 we have 20 cents. No, I would always put a limit order up, like, above. Well, first of all, limit order, you want to put a stop order. I know my limit of the limit orders on this are different than the limit orders on the other platform, and then the other. I've spoken with someone recently, and their limit orders are different than the other. So, but when you guys go back and look at the recording, make sure you're sitting there and you look at level 3, and you just let sink into exactly what I just told you and why the stock went from 1130 to 1150. All right, what do you guys want to look up? GTAT. You guys are so, the one thing is you got to focus on one thing at a time because you're so interested in instead of watching this stock develop and do exactly what we're trying to teach you, you're worried about going to another one. Okay, you guys, that's the one thing, you got to focus on one thing at a time. Because if I asked every one of you guys to come back to me, okay, and all you had to do is you had to explain to me why that stock just went from 1130 to 1150 while we were talking. Could anyone give me that direct explanation? And why it was a good entry and why it was a bad entry? Because that's the only way that you're going to get this is continually looking at the same thing and seeing it go over and over again. Most brokers, they just have a stop order out there. Most brokers, like I know on this one, I think you can, actually I don't know. Can you? No, that's something else. I don't know what this part is. I know this, I forgot where it is, but I know on here you can actually pick the type of order it is. It's even more advanced than this one is. I don't know where it went because I keep Xing stuff out. I'm going to have to figure it out. But most brokers, you could just put a stop order in. JCP, I don't trade ABO because it's a slow moving, unless it's like a special day, it bores me. Yeah, this stock's actually, it's not a bad mover today. I didn't even see JCP. Oh, it's because I don't have the New York up yet. I have to figure all this stuff out, but yeah, there's different stop orders, but I know like on this platform, if I switch over here, all I have to do is I switch it to the Pimsleur stop, and when I go to buy an order, I could just I could do a limit. So it's a limit price. That's the most I'm willing to pay, and the trigger price is what actually triggers that off. And then I could do a market, which is just a trigger price, where at that price, it's going to make that order. But I'm not sure. I got to figure out how to do it on TradeStation. I think so, Lori. Don't quote me on any of this involving TradeStation, but I'm like 90% sure. I wouldn't be learning it if I didn't have to. Although now I'm there's a lot of features that's kind of cool in there that I will be possibly using. Let's see, how's my my fake trade doing in Lake? Not too bad. Okay, we still have about 20 minutes left, so I'll pull up another. Right now, GTAT. I mean JCP. Let's take a look. The only thing I hate about JCPenney is the book viewer. It annoys me how many big orders there are. There's like nothing going on. 801, 3000. A lot of support at 799. There's not really much of a range to go on right now. Let's see. You guys wanted to bring up GTAT. Just doing nothing. Why? See, why would we even bring this trade up? Can you guys tell me? I'll look at Con in 2 seconds, Abo. But why did all of you almost put GTAT? Cat, GoPro, I'm not even gonna look at. GoPro's too expensive for me. I'm just curious of why everyone wanted to look at GTAT, which is doing absolutely nothing. Oh, I thought you guys kept saying true. You weren't really saying. True looks nice. Trading at highs. I have to get used to these graphs, though. Am I all minused out? Yeah, true does look nice. Although 275 is right now, I don't see really any support until about 275. I wouldn't touch this stock. Excuse me, 275 to 2295, which can't be right. There's no historical data for this symbol. Yeah, I'm gonna switch over back to the one that I know, because. Okay, right now we really got nothing going on here. I mean, right now you got a 3-cent spread. You can't get in or out. What makes you guys like this stock? Do you see a bottom on GTAT? But okay, so true, it's at resistance, as we can see, and there it goes. Yeah, I don't see anything that, I mean, unless you can short it, which at this point, I can short everything on TradeStation, which is pretty cool. Do I see a bottom on GTAT? Guys, this is more about learning, not about making money on stocks. Because if you learn how to do it over and over again, then you'll never have a problem with making money. I don't want to sit here and start trading stocks, because that's going to defeat the entire purpose of why we're doing this. All right. Anyone else? Any other questions on kind of like entry? Like if you have a question on a stock of why something happens, I have no problem with that. But I'm not going to sit here and start telling you guys, what stocks to trade, because then it's really, if I tell you what stock to trade, that you're going to make money that one day, and then the next day you're going to end up losing it all. Okay, but if you sit here and we actually teach you how to trade these stocks, like Fausto and my goal is every single day, then you'll never need any of us. True, nice off the pullback. Appreciate it, Andy. All right. So anything else out there? Anything else anyone, specifically wants to go through with their trading, something that may have happened this morning, not sure why? Steve, this is the Traders Talk. Yep, Dana's more than likely support was going to be pulled. People are bounced off of support. How would you know to get in? And sometimes it moves too fast. Well, Tracy, if you don't know whether it's getting in or not, when it's moving too fast, you shouldn't be trading that stock. Trade slower stocks that you understand. Once those get boring, you're going to gradually get up to understanding that what I just showed you on Lake is exactly the same thing as what you trade every stock like. It's just a lot of them move faster, and you just have to master the slow ones, just like Lake, and get to the point where you see every stock the same exact way. Wait for a second. How do I find the recording? Arvid, we'll shoot out an email that I don't know where it's going yet, but like I said, I promised you I'd record it, and I did. Could you go back to Lake and view current status? Lake just keeps bouncing off that 50. Oop, nope, looking at wrong book viewer. Like I said, when you guys, right now 40, huge resistance point. I don't see much support anywhere, so make sure you're not in the stock going long. Jimmy, it's going to be every single, for our full Cyber Group members, it will be every single Wednesday at 1 p.m. Appreciate that, Keith. Thanks. Thanks, Brett. Thanks, Brett. How do I refine entry points? I go in PBR 1040 for a bounce. Got out with 30. I don't know. I have to look at PBR. How do I refine entry points? I go in PBR 1040 for a bounce. So 1040, like the time 1040. I don't even know how to get to that. Oh, here we go. I get in at 1040. I don't know how I can see the time. Oh, there it is. I get in at 1040 for a bounce. Got out in 30 seconds and then went exactly where I was seeing it. Salome, unfortunately, I can't see the orders, so I don't really know what. I'll try to pull it up on here. I mean, there has to be a lot going on. You might have just been right, and you sold out on a shake. 1040. Because it looks like what price? The price that you bought it at. It looks like you should have bought it at 1070. Excuse me. Either that or 1060. You bought it in the middle of a level. You see the right side that it's trading in 10 cents? You bought in the middle of a level, so it shook you out. It wasn't the right, you didn't have your right entry. When you don't have got in at 1072. Yeah, so then I don't know why you would have gotten out. How far did it go down? It looks like 2 cents. Yeah, but minus 3 cents? I mean, I'm trying to. I'm unfortunately I can't really see. I don't know where the orders were, but you got in at 1040. Well, first of all, at 1040, it looks like it's coming on the way down, if I'm correct. So 1040, the stock was coming on the way down. So you got shook out because of the fact that you bought on the way down. It literally looks like you bought. See the trend that's coming down right here? It looks like you bought your stock on the way down. That's at 1040. So at 1040, the stock was actually coming down. You didn't let it actually bounce back above it. I mean, just off what I'm seeing right now, it doesn't look like that. I mean, I give myself 3 to 5 cents. 10 cents is the max. I think this is very. Thanks, Dwayne. Appreciate it. Got it. It says did the same as AM 30-second rule. Yeah, I mean 3 cents. I'm not getting out with 3 cents. I mean, it's exactly. It looks like. I mean, I don't see any reason why this wouldn't be a winning trade. I mean, I'd have to look at it at the time, though. So, you know, sometimes what I see on the graph afterwards, I can't see. It looks like it was coming down. Looks like, you know, that's another thing in itself. But it looks, it's solid, man. You made the right trade. It looks like you got to trust yourself. Did you have a support that was confirmed on the book viewer? Did you have a big block order sitting underneath you, or any type of order actually holding it there, where that 3 cents was? And I mean, I know that's hard to remember. I can't even remember, you know, what we did 10 minutes ago. Yeah. So if you have a big block order there and you're only down 3 cents, you have to trust your trade and let that trade come back up. You have to give it a chance. Do you have? Yeah, 59. That would have been a great trade. You made the complete right decision. Do you have to have big block orders on both sides before trading? Barry, go back to this recording and look where I was showing you about range. You don't have to. The best thing in the world, if you have a huge buy order that's holding up at support and there's no sell orders anywhere, because then your stock's just going to keep going. But most of the time you will. So you want to make sure you find that range, and that range is wide enough for you to actually take some profit on. Big order disappear the moment I bought. So then you got to get out, Steve. Unfortunately, that happens all the time. But if you're buying on the way up, you shouldn't have that problem as much. It's all about entry points. You know, once the order goes up, is it back on its way up? It should have enough, and that's if you're trading a stock that has enough volume. But it should just be going up. If you have the right entry, those shakeouts shouldn't even hit your entry. There you go, Andy. That's exactly it. If you have that block order, and the best thing, I know I was talking with Mark this morning when we were doing some coaching, but when the best is when that big block order actually follows you up your trade. So, you know, let's say just for, you know, argument's sake, 1590 is a huge support, and there's no resistance at 16. Actually, let's say it's 16. There's no resistance. There's resistance at 20. But that big block order that's above, that's at 16, and you're at 1602, starts to follow you up at 1601, and then follow you up at 1603 while the stock's moving up. You couldn't ask for anything better than that. Okay, but it kind of looks like a lot of you got, you know, definitely got something from this. And, you know, we'll continue doing this, like I said, but, you know, the biggest thing is that this isn't going to be, you know, figuring out trades to make. You know, this isn't going to be a live trading time. Because, like I said, that's not going to help you tomorrow. That's, you know, all that's going to do is going to end up, you know, giving you some false confidence, and, you know, making you make a bad decision the next day. Okay, and like I said, we will get an email out to all of you. We're going to end in a few seconds, but we'll get an email out to you just to let you know where the recording is going to be, because I will have it. All right, and other than that, Fausto will be back for your meeting, and wow, it's 2:10 already. He'll be back to your to the meeting in, you know, figure 20 minutes or so. Other than that, I'm going to probably stay here for the rest of the day. I'll be in here. So any other questions or anything like that, please don't hesitate to ask. Other than that, happy trading, everybody. I'll talk to everyone soon.